Jack Nicklaus doesn't speak often, but when the Golden Bear talks, the entire golf world stops what it's doing and listens. This week, the 86-year-old legend dropped a message that has everyone from players to fans to executives talking. Sitting in front of reporters at Muirfield Village, just days before the memorial tournament he founded, Nicklaus was asked about the PGA Tour's ambitious and highly controversial new schedule plans. His answer wasn't diplomatic, it was a direct warning shot. "I'm not in favor of this," he said plainly. Let that sink in. The greatest player of all time, a man who has shaped modern golf for more than 6 decades, is publicly opposing the biggest structural overhaul the PGA Tour has ever attempted. Here's what's on the table. By 2028, the PGA Tour wants to compress its entire season into roughly 6 months. Fewer overall weeks, fewer regular events, and a heavy concentration of signature tournaments packed into a shorter, more intense window. The man driving this change is Rolapp, the new CEO brought in from the NFL. And when Nicklaus made his comments, he hadn't even spoken to Rolapp yet. That detail made the moment even more striking. The most respected voice in the history of the game was raising red flags about the future direction of the tour, without having had a single conversation with the person in charge of implementing it. Nicklaus didn't speak in vague generalities. He pointed to something very specific happening right now. He used the Cognizant Classic, a tournament with decades of history in Florida and strong ties to his own foundation, as a prime example of what's going wrong. Look at the current stretch. Pebble Beach, then LA, then Cognizant, then Bay Hill, followed immediately by the Players' Championship. 5 significant events jammed into a short period. Nicklaus's blunt assessment: it has no chance. No chance. That's not frustration. That's a prediction. When too many big events are bunched together, top players simply can't play all of them. They have to pick and choose. And when they choose, the tournaments in the middle often get skipped. Fields weaken. Attention shifts. Sponsors start to question their investment. And over time, tournaments with real history and tradition quietly fade away. This isn't just about one event. Nicklaus sees a dangerous pattern forming. He told reporters, "I hate to see tournaments bunched too much together. With too many big tournaments too close together, that's a problem, I think, and I think that's going to be a problem for the tour in the future." He also addressed the physical and mental toll on players. "I could play a couple weeks in a row, maybe 3 weeks in a row, but I needed some time off to be able to recharge the batteries. And I think everybody needs to recharge their batteries." These aren't the words of an out-of-touch former player. These are the observations of a man who helped build the modern PGA Tour alongside Arnold Palmer and others in the 1960s, fighting for players' rights and creating the structure that made the tour what it is today. Now contrast that with Brian Rolapp's vision. Coming from the NFL, Rolapp wants to transform the PGA Tour into something more league-like, more efficient, more predictable, and more television-friendly. He envisions a 2-track system, a championship series for the top players and a challenger series below it, with promotion and relegation. The total number of events could drop dramatically, perhaps to around 20 key weeks including majors and playoffs. Rolapp isn't hiding his philosophy. He has suggested the tour shouldn't be overly constrained by golf's long-standing traditions if a better path forward exists. For traditionalists like Nicklaus, those words land like a challenge. After his public comments, Nicklaus did something significant. He called for a face-to-face meeting with both Rolapp and Commissioner Monahan. And it happened. Wednesday at Muirfield Village, right before the memorial. The conversation was private. No cameras, no recordings. Afterward, when asked about the proposed new schedule, Nicklaus declined to comment. That silence? It's loud. A man who was outspoken on Tuesday had nothing to say on Wednesday. Either they found common ground, or the differences were so significant that Nicklaus chose not to escalate publicly right away. This situation represents a deeper philosophical clash. On one side is Jack Nicklaus, protector of golf's soul, its history, its rhythm, and the individual character of its tournaments. On the other is a CEO with a modern sports business background, who sees a sport that needs to evolve rapidly to compete for attention, television dollars, and younger audiences in a crowded entertainment landscape. Players are already voicing concerns too. Many have said they don't want to play more than 3 tough weeks in a row. The compressed schedule could force impossible choices: rest for the majors and skip historic events, or grind through and risk burnout and injury. If traditional tournaments lose their star power, they lose their sponsors. If they lose their sponsors, they disappear from the schedule. Once they're gone, they're often gone forever. That's the death spiral Nicklaus is warning about. Yet the changes are moving forward. The two-tier system, the shorter season, the reimagined calendar, it's all coming. The question is whether the PGA Tour can modernize without destroying what made it special. The tradition, the variety of courses and events, the rhythm of a full golf season that families and communities have supported for generations. Nicklaus made it clear he doesn't think the damage is irreversible yet. "I don't think it's a problem yet," he said, "but I think it will be if we don't address it." That's the voice of experience. He's seen cycles in this game. He knows how decisions made today can echo for decades. So where do we stand? The 2028 vision is still on track. Brian Rolapp remains firmly in charge. But Jack Nicklaus has planted his flag in the ground. He demanded a meeting. He got it. And the most respected man in golf has made it known that he's watching closely. This isn't just about calendars and TV windows. It's about what kind of sport professional golf wants to be in the decades ahead. What do you think? Do you agree with Jack Nicklaus that the PGA Tour is heading down a dangerous path and risks losing its soul? Or do you believe Brian Rolapp's NFL-inspired modernization is exactly what the game needs to stay relevant and thrive? Drop your honest take in the comments below. I read every single one. If you value deep, thoughtful golf conversations instead of just highlight reels and hot takes, hit that subscribe button. We're building a community of fans who actually care about the future of the game we love. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one, where we'll continue following this story as it develops.